Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The important news and editorial that would be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 5th of June. The first important news, that is Law Commission recommendations on sedition law. We'll see the detail about this news. Recently, I have also discussed this news, but this is from the explained page of the Indian Express, where I'll be looking into the more detailed and precise part of the recommendations that was given by the Law Commission. The second, that is, why does North Korea want a spy satellite? We'll see the details. Third, that is e-commerce policy to boost export and streamline the regulation. Second last, railway flag flows in signaling system, the incident that shook the entire country and even a loss to humanity where more than 259 or 58 people have been found dead. So this is something the counting is still on. I mean, last 20 years we have not seen this kind of pathetic train accident. Now the last is an editorial, repairing a lifeline. This is again the same that talks about the recent Balasore rail accident. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do press a like button. So starting the session with the first news, that is Law Commission recommendations on sedition law. Something important for General Studies paper 2, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it, right? And this news is again relevant for both prelims as main and the mains examination, right? There have been a lot more debate when it comes to sedition, and even Supreme Court has taken the cognizance of its poor implementation and misuse of this colonial law. So recently the Law Commission of India, in its report, this is the latest report, the number of the report is 279th report, they have recommended to retain the provision of sedition under section 124A, which is there in the IPC, that is Indian Penal Code 1816 में जो provisions रखे गए हैं under the sedition, this come under article 124A. This is section basically. So the Law Commission has recommended to the government, basically this Law Commission was actually set up by the Union Home Ministry to make a recommendations and suggest some changes that is required to see whether the part of the Sedition Act should be continued further, or if required, what are the changes that should continue. Now, nearly after a year, Supreme Court has actually stayed the operation. Most of you must be aware of this news that Supreme Court ने intervene किया था और फिलहाल के लिए further government को जो provisions हैं IPC में section 124A के तहत उसे study करने की बात की थी, and for time being the Supreme Court has stayed any, there should not be any case registered under this act. So Law Commissions ने अपने recommendations दी हैं. Now in this particular news, I'll be making you understand what are the main recommendations that was given by the Law Commission in general, and precisely these type of recommendation is very important for mains examination. What was the recommendation that was made by the Commission? So this is a 22nd Law Commission, and which has submitted at which number of report? The number of report is 279. So this is the number of report, and the commission is 22nd Law Commission. Do not get confused. So it is headed by former Karnataka High Court Chief Justice Ritu Raj Avasthi, and the commission has received the reference from the Ministry of Home Affairs, which I have categorically stated at the beginning. So MHA ने एक committee बनाई थी, and even they have actually asked the Law Commissions to study the part of seditions and suggest some amendment if required. Now, after all study and further part of the changes that was there, now the committee has recommended some of the important part. The first, they have called for incorporations of the Kedarnath judgment, which is again a very important judgment. So Law Commission in its report stated that the essence of Kedarnath versus states of Bihar needs to be incorporated under section 124A, which is a section for sedition laws. And in the Kedarnath, the Supreme Court has upheld the constitutionality of the sedition law, stating that it falls within the reasonable restrictions on the freedom of speech mentioned under Article 1, under Article 19, subsections 2 of the Constitution, which is again a fundamental right and a right to speech and expression. So this was a one recommendation. Now the second recommendation is increasing the term of punishment. तो commissions ने basically जो term of punishment है उसको बढ़ाने की बात की है. They have said that this can be increased from 7 year to life imprisonment. This is what the committee has said. And currently the punishment is for either 3 year or for the life imprisonment. So this is again the reason the 7 year has increased. The opposition is saying that this colonial law has become more stringent in the present government. Now, we are not getting into the debate of the political angle. We are more concerned on the part of the provision essentially required for our examination. Now, the third recommendation that was given is for installing the new procedural safeguard. So, the Commission has recommended more procedural amendment to the Code of Criminal Procedure, that is better known as CRPC. और इसमें जो बात कही गई है that to prevent the alleged misuse of law, it suggested that the police officer holding the rank of inspector and must be conducting the part of the preliminary inquiry, and he should be filing an FIR. So FIR must be registered with a level of officer who is none less than inspector, and even SHO is mostly the officer who is inspector rank. Now, about sedition law, I think most of you must be aware of what is sedition law. Sedition is 124A of the IPC, which penalizing against the crime, and it defines any kind of hatred, contempts, any excites that attempt to have dissatisfactions against the government established by the rule of the law. So, whomsoever is going against the law, criticizing government, all those freedom of speech and expressions are there, but they are ambit their certain boundaries within which they can make a protest, they can have their say, but about that, making something which is above the law and protesting which is not against the constitutional means will call for a sedition. Now, reason for retaining the law, commissions ने कुछ important recommendations के साथ साथ कुछ reasons बताए हैं कि क्यों इन laws को retain करने की जरूरत है. First, it said that it is necessary to protect the national security. See, for retaining any law, national security is the most common reason. Now, we are standing some other part, that is the reasonable restriction is mandate. This is what the commission has said, the law commission has said, और Article 19(1) of Indian Constitution की बात की है, and even they have said that the restrictions of public order and something the law enforcement agency has to take care of. The report states that the colonial legacy, सिर्फ colonial legacy बोलना इस rule को, which is actually a colonial legacy, was used. You must have come across the freedom struggle. किस तरह से newspapers को जितने भी, and even the individual where even Gandhi ji was the part of the sedition, the British people have actually used it. तो ये colonial laws तो है, but present के context में से बताई गई है कि बहुत सारे और changes हैं जो देखने की जरूरत है. Point out the colonial legacies like police forces, all India civil services that still retain without oppositions on the ground. Now, the report highlights that the countries where sedition's law has been struck down, the law addressing the seditious activities has been incorporated within their treason and the counter-terrorism laws. Now, moving to the other news, why North Korea want a spy satellite. This is something, a news which is important for General Studies paper 2, specifically for effects of policies and politics of developed and developing countries. IR के जैसे sections के लिए काफी ज़्यादा important है. Even you can use this as an example. There will be no direct question to this, but as an example, you can highlight this. So North Korea, in its latest attempt, has launched country first spy satellite, and it has actually failed. The part is that the current status that it has failed. On May 31st, North Korea military satellite Milyong was launched from the part of the new rocket system named as Kolima-1. Now the satellite said that is floated in part of 10 minutes and it crashed into the Yellow Sea. So Yellow Sea के locations of map पर जरूर देख लें. Now, what is North Korea space program? How they are progressing and what is their target? So North Korea in the past decade has active space program that is closely related to the missile program. They are more focusing on the missile program. Starting from 1988, North Korea successfully has orbited its first satellite in 2012 after the three failed attempts. And even the launch vehicle was there in Una 3, that was a variant of Tebdidong 21CB, that is intercontinental ballistic missile. Now, the Una-1 type missile was used in 2016, launched by North Korea Earth Observatory satellite, or you can say Pyongyang, which is the capital of North Korea. The flight on May 31st was the sixth satellite that was launched by the North Korea, and additionally, in April, North Korea has announced that it has completed the construction of its first spy satellite, which was actually tested and have failed miserably. Now, why there's a need for spy satellite? Country like North Korea, which is again considered to be a country which is ruled by a single ruler. So, North Korea के space satellite की अगर बात करें, it is expected that this will play a crucial role in providing the advanced surveillance technology that cover large portion of the region to improve the ability and to strike target during the conflict. This was the reason that was cited by the government of the day. Actually, वहाँ पे supremacy चलती है. King is some, the monarchy that is proceeding there. So the supreme leader of North Korea stated that the nation would have a capacity to use primitive military forces when the situation demands. Moreover, North Korea's space program is responsible for strategic development in the region. This is what the leader of the North Korea have actually stated. Now, what it mean for East Asia? अगर East Asia की बात करें तो security anxiety East Asia इस तरह के रिस्पॉन्स से काफ़ी ज़्यादा बढ़ती है, एंड इवन रीजनल स्टेबिलिटी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से दीज आर नॉट वेरी स्टेबल, एंड नॉर्थ कोरिया सीम्स टू बी अनअफ्रेड ऑफ इट्स लेवल ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी इंटेंशन that strengthen its key apparatus in the region. Now, while it was launched, it is also a breach of United Nations Security Council resolution, which is unlikely to attract additional economic sanctions on North Korea. And this displayed the weak effectiveness of the sanction that is imposed on the North Korea. Definitely, they have to take action. Some conclusive action need to be there so that these type of spying activities, which is again can harm many other countries, they should be completely stopped and banned. Moving to the other news, e-commerce policy to boost export and streamline regulation, something important for general studies paper 2. That is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth and development. So recently, the Department of Promotions and Industry and their secretary have come up with some official statement, and the secretary has categorically stated that the national e-commerce policy, which was recently unveiled by the central government, it called that it will seek to create a conducive environment for overall development of the sector and boost export. First, it said that the development will be there, and second, that it will also call for the export development. The policy is expected to streamline regulatory framework for ease of doing businesses, adaptations of modern technology, and integration of supply chains. Now, what is our roadmap in this regard? If you say the part of the trade policy, how government will be looking specifically for the e-commerce in general. So in 2025, the goal cross-border e-commerce export will touch 2 trillion as per the estimate. And according to the foreign trade policy, India's e-commerce export potential is ranged between 200 billion to 300 billion annually by 2030. The policy will address some of the issues that is concerning effective enforcement, and that will be clarity on the lot of the issues because policy has already been put in place. So accordingly, the sector will perform. Now, demand for traders, जो demand है, जो traders हैं उनकी क्या क्या demands हैं. Local traders and association has been demanding an empowered regulatory body to check against the violation of e-commerce rule. See, whenever it comes to rules, the stakeholders need to be taken into trust, and here the stakeholders are traders. So definitely government need to have a word with them, and the rules that is there in the policy, it called for 100% FDI at marketplace in the model of e-commerce, but no FDI is permitted on the inventory based model, right? I'm not getting into detail of that, essentially not required, but you can check out. Now, for time being, the trader have been alleging for the part of the policy and bearing deep discount on the preferences to select sellers of being flaunted by the e-commerce platforms. And they have been seeking the great clarity on the part of the FDI rules on e-commerce. So government definitely need to make things more clear. See, when it comes to trade policies and e-commerce, vagueness is something which is not going to work. So transparency from the government is a mandate, is something which is inevitable. Now, the railway flagged flaws in signaling system, something important for General Studies paper 3, that is infrastructure, energy, port, roads and railway. This is also important for General Studies paper 2, where government policies and intervention is mentioned in the syllabus. So most of you have come across with the news that the train accident which took place in Balasore in Odisha, a preliminary inquiry was done to this, and it was found that the reason for the accident, possibly the 100% reason, was failure of the signaling system. This is what the preliminary investigation has come up with the details, and further investigation are on. A deep down investigation will be done to ensure to find what are the reason. Was the human error or intentional error or a malfunctioning by an individual? So this is something which cannot be spared off. Now, as many as 275 people were killed due to collision in Odisha Balasore district, where the train collided. 3 trains collided at one point. The latest incident has been noted with the worst railway accident since 1995, where in Firozabad it took almost 350 fatalities. Now, leniency in railway safety, this is again a big chunks of information that is coming out from the preliminary investigations. So the brainstorming sessions की अगर बात करें, basically I'm just trying to get you an idea that how the best possible effort that government is doing और किस तरह की leniency approach के साथ government काम कर रही है. Now, a brainstorming session was organized by Ministry of Railway और उस sessions में जो रेलवे की एक्सीडेंट है उस पर प्रेजेंटेशन होनी थी, बट मिनिस्ट्री ने इसको स्कीप कर दिया. they have focused on the part of Vande Bharat and even increasing the revenue how it can be allowed, but only one railway part were allowed to get further in terms of discussions on the rail safety. So you can see why government was so reluctant. Rail safety is very important. You have to make development of Vande Bharat. It's a very good that government ने काफ़ी हद तक वंदे भारत की numbers बढ़ाए हैं. बहुत सारे states में already there, north east states में Kerala, even Andhra Pradesh, Delhi, lot many states have got, even for Bihar, Ranchi they have got. But इस तरह की चीज़ों के साथ साथ जो सबसे important component है is to ensure safety. तो सेफ्टी पे भी प्रोपोर्शनली मिनिस्ट्री को ध्यान देनी चाहिए, जिन्होंने उस ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग सेशन में इसको इग्नोर किया. दिस इज अ लीनियंसी दैट वाज देयर फ्रॉम द रेलवे मिनिस्ट्री, एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू द ऑफिशियल्स, alarm over the recent derailment of the goods and train have also raised in the meeting. Lack of manpower and ailing infrastructure is a big concern. We cannot deny the fact. So gangmen की अगर बात करें या फिर फूड सोल्जर्स की बात करें, काफ़ी कमी है मैन पावर्स की. The post station master is a crucial in maintaining the rail safety. They have been working for 12 hours in a shift, which is again, when government called for 8 to 9 hour work, the people are actually working for 12 hours, which is again inhumanly possible to perform. Now, their role is most crucial in the rail safety, and the station master has to keep a tabs on everything when it comes to wheels, sound, train passing through can detect an error irregularity. तो आप human सिर्फ से एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर सकते कि वो सारी चीज़ों को आइडेंटिफाई करे. देयर शुड बी अ मशीन, देयर शुड बी टेक्नोलॉजी विच कैन एक्चुअली आइडेंटिफाई द प्रॉब्लम. Now, official rail minister said that the low-cost anti-collision system of Kavach has also been not implemented across this June. So there are a lot of loopholes that is coming out, but now this is the time to fill the gap and not to identify a problem and pinpoint them. Concern over the vacant post. This is again, this is the evidential fact that Indian Railways is running out of the manpower. More than 3.11 lakh vacancies are there. A lot of out of which posts come out from the Group C post, traffic assistant, guard, good guard, junior assistant, senior timekeeper, junior timekeeper, traffic cum assistant. ये सारे पोस्ट खाली हैं. इन सारे पोस्ट को फिल करने की जरूरत है ताकि जो मैन पावर की क्रंच है उसे फुलफिल किया जा सके, and railway should be functioning in an efficient manner. Moving to the editorial of the day, that is repairing our lifeline, something important for General Studies paper 2. That is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So what I'll be discussing under this editorial, the theme and focus of this article is on the issue of rail safety. We'll see the rail safety situation in India, project Mission Raftar, challenges, ultra high speed train, and the conclusion part. So that is a continuation of that news when the train accident which took in Balasore, is a place in Odisha, and on June between two express train that have stopped due to the freight train, and it's perhaps the deadliest accident that was seen in the last 20 years. Total fatalities and almost 1,000 people have been injured, and the train accident with so many facilities, if you see the part of the fatalities that is there across the globe, अगर इस तरह की अगर इंसिडेंट को रिपोर्ट करें इससे पहले 2002 में तंजानिया में इस तरह की इंसिडेंट हुई थी जहाँ पे 281 people were dead. So this is something considered as the last decade, last 20 decades, we have not seen such accident. Rail safety situation in India, we have बात करें. I mean, the seriousness of rail safety in India can be understood with considering some of the important facts. अगर बात करें ग्लोबल लेवल पे, if you see like the countries Japan, China, Turkey, and several European countries like Spain, Germany, Italy, Sweden, and United Kingdom, they are running with a high speed train. और इनकी जो स्पीड्स होती हैं that vary between 200 to 350 kilometers. और इंडिया के जो एवरेज स्पीड है that is 150 to 250, almost 170, not 250 even, right? तो क्या ऐसी परेशानी है इंडिया के साथ, द रेलवे ट्रैफिक सिस्टम एंड द पार्ट ऑफ द सेफ्टी सिस्टम, that we are facing such problem, and the country which is already running with a speed of 200 to 350, we have not come across any news where these country witness the accidents. Now, despite the low speed of the train, the fatalities in India is on a pretty higher side. Now, India would probably need to see that अगर बात करें कुछ countries से जहाँ पे हमारी performance अच्छी है, that include Egypt, Mexico, Tanzania, and Congo, Nigeria, and Pakistan. But when it comes to major rail performances, India is lacking severely, whether in terms of infrastructure or in terms of safety or in terms of manpower. Now, कुछ truth की अगर बात करें, this was specifically highlighted by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India in its report. It says that the systematic mechanism for monitoring procedures to prevent the serious rail accident, most derailment accident due to simultaneous failure of following the procedures to prevent the derailment, money spent on the non-priority project instead of railway safety. तो यहाँ पे ध्यान देने की जरूरत है गवर्नमेंट को. सी वंदे भारत is again a priority, but rail safety is the utmost priority, right? The safety related work had due to the lack of fund. और अगर कुछ डेटा देखें, track inspections done as only 181 cases in least instead of 350. Out of 217 accident in last 4 years, 75% due to derailment and 211 accident due to signal failure. तो जो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है उससे पहले ठीक करने की जरूरत है. Then we can come up with new trains, and see, only political mileage is not something that is going to work. The life of the people is very crucial and very vital. ना प्रोजेक्ट मिशन रफ्तार भी गवर्नमेंट ने शुरू की. इसके थ्रू गवर्नमेंट ने बेसिकली रेलवे बोर्ड ने 2017-18 में ये प्रोजेक्ट को स्टार्ट किया था. दैट कॉल फॉर डबलिंग द स्पीड ऑफ द फ्लाइट ट्रेन फ्रॉम 25 to 50, achieving 50% of the increase in the passenger from 50 to 75 in 5 years. Now it aims to offer semi-high speed train to the passengers by running train with a speed of 160 to 200 kilometers in selected corridor in the country. उसके अलावा इस इंसिडेंट के बाद सबसे बड़ी चैलेंज क्या है? द मेन चैलेंज इज द कंजेशन इन इंडियन रेलवे इज अ ट्रंक रूट एंड द प्राइमरी फैक्टर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग टू द स्टैग्नेंट स्पीड एंड सब पार सेफ्टी. Now, in the last 20 years, rail has been consistently losing the part of the market share due to the competition coming out from the air and the road transport. If you see, if you're traveling with air in a long distance from Delhi to Bangalore or Delhi to Chennai, right, you will find that the fare are comparatively, if you see the part 3AC, 3AC से ही comparison करें, I am leaving part on the second AC and the first AC. अगर आप 3AC से भी compare करें, you will find that it is compared to that sort of फेयर ऑफ विच इज़ द एविएशन सेक्टर्स, राइट. तो फ्लाइट की और ट्रेन की फेयर सेम हो जाती है. और सेकंड एसी की जो फेयर है वो करीबन हाइयर है, एंड इवन फर्स्ट एसी इज फार हाइयर देन द फ्लाइट प्राइस. सो देयर इज अ कंपटीशन. गवर्नमेंट डेफिनेटली नीड टू लुक अपॉन दिस, एंड द फैक्ट इज दैट फ्लाइट टेक less, it take maximum 2 hours, right? And if you're traveling by train, it will take 34 to 30 hours in Rajdhani and Duranto. So these things need to be cut down. And other problem is track, electrical signals, infrastructure, fault diagnostics that suffer the severe congestions. Another important is lack of punctuality, and that has a severe negative impact on the part of workload, which is also there with drivers, station masters, and trackmen. In 2005, the Railway Board decided to build two dedicated freight corridors with a combined route length of 284 km with a plan to build three more trains in futures. Now, the dedicated freight corridors are incomplete and may take 2 to 4 years to come. Ultra high speed train की बात की गवर्नमेंट ने. They have actually come up with a stand-alone ultra high bullet train with a standard gauge between Mumbai and Ahmedabad. This is a route that was preferred by the government of India. Now, DRP इसके लिए बनाई गई थी, detailed project report, and the scores were pretty on the part, like where official estimate has said that 350 crore rupees estimate की गई है per kilometer and 10 times much higher. I mean 160 kilometer से काफ़ी ज़्यादा speed होंगी, but not that high. So see, only investing a lot more fund in these development, it is something important, but not at the cost of safety, right? The progress and construction of Mumbai-Ahmedabad bullet train line is slow, and it is built for more bullet train line in the doldrums. Now, to conclude the part, there's a need for Aadhaar that we need to build the road safety first. एक long term planning की जरूरत है, जहाँ पे रेलवे सेफ्टी पे सबसे ज़्यादा ध्यान देने की जरूरत है. The rail safety is the utmost important. We should invest in infrastructure, improve the infrastructure not only for faster train, but also the benefit the economy and the environment wise. The rail thus would be able to have a and role of the lifelines would be Indian transport. Basically, if you see the part of the railway, most of the people prefer, this is the preferred way of transportation in the country, the cheapest way of transportation. With the fair and transparency, accountability need to be fixed. Whomsoever has been found guilty, they need to be punished. Even required, they can be terminated from the services. So this was all about for the conclusion part of this editorial. Moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of Saturday questions. For first question, the correct option is A. For second question, the correct option is for first question, the correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is A. Today's MCQ for practice. Ghar portal was recently launched by which among the following organization? You have to check for the correct option. And second is One District, One Product program. It was launched by the state of Tamil Nadu in 2018. It was adopted by the union government. It was launched by the Minister of Food Processing Industries in 2018. So do check out for the correct option. Practicing a lot more current affairs question will give you an edge in the prelims examination and many other government examinations that you are preparing for. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.